Hello, hello. My name's Dan, and this is Moth Manor, developed by Spooky Rosalyn. It was just released June of 2021 for the MrKravin Game Jam. It's a text adventure, and it's super cool looking. I love the text layout and the colors used. Very retro. Anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's get started. A week ago, you got a letter. There was no name or return address, just a cryptic message inside urging you to go to an address in the middle of nowhere. Assuming it was some kind of scam, you threw it away and went about your day. For days after, you were plagued by vivid nightmares, mostly centered around an abandoned manor at the address you had been given. Eventually, curiosity got the better of you, and for the sake of your mental health, you decided you needed to go there for real. After a long drive, and with barely any sunlight left, you arrive. Oh, this is cool. You step out of your car and stare at the decaying manor towering over you. You consider getting back into your car and going home, but you clench your fists and start walking down the path that leads north to the front door. Type move direction, move in that direction. Okay. Move north. You walk up the porch steps to the front door, being careful not to catch your foot on the holes in the stairs. The porch itself, which you remember once being covered in plants and other decorations, is completely bare except for the dirty doormat on the ground. The door, unlike the rest of the house, is ornate and polished. In the middle of the door is a silver model of a moth. Let's examine the doormat. The doormat is worn and frayed. It looks like it would fall apart at the slightest touch. No, wait. Take? Use. Use doormat. You try to lift up the doormat, but it tears apart in your hands, revealing a key that was hidden underneath. Cool. Take the key. You pick up the key, brushing off the layers of dirt covering it. It appears to be for the front door. Okay, let's use the key. The door unlocks with a loud thunk as you turn the key. As you try to pull it out, the key breaks, getting stuck in the lock. You step inside, closing the door behind you. No going back now. Closing the door behind me, so I locked myself in on purpose? Weird. The interior of the manor is just as dilapidated as it was outside. A visible layer of dust cakes the floor, and intricate spiderwebs weave across the ceiling. A dark hallway leads north into the manor, while a rickety staircase leads to the second floor. A door to the west leads to the dining room, while another door to the east leads to the living room. Okay, well let's go west, I guess. I want to stay on this floor. Compared to the rest of the manor, the dining room seems pleasant enough. Then you notice the smell, most likely coming from the rotting, half-eaten food on the dining table. A cabinet on the other side of the room catches your eye, not because of the cabinet itself, but because it is surrounded by the splintered remains of the northern door to the kitchen. Another doorway leads east to the foyer. Foyer or foyer? Which way do you guys pronounce it? Okay, let's examine the cabinet. The cabinet is fairly plain, made of polished wood with windows on the doors. You see something inside, but it's a bit too dark to tell what. Okay, let's move east. Let's go back. Let's go back and go to in the other direction. Okay, the living room has certainly seen better days. Part of the floor seems to have collapsed, creating a massive hole in the floor. There are some wooden boards nearby, seemingly for repairs that never happened. Despite the damage, you can still reach the library through the northern door, or the foyer through the western door. We'll examine the hole. The hole must be very deep. You can't see the bottom. You can hear the faint sounds of running water emanating from the hole. Okay, so there's some running water down there. Now examine the boards. The boards are old, but they look sturdy enough. With how quickly this place is falling apart, one of these could certainly come in handy. Okay. Pick up one of the boards, being careful not to get any splinters. It's heavy, but if another part of the floor collapses, it'll be worth it. Okay, I guess let's move north. The library, while small, is quite impressive. Multiple bookcases line the walls with comfy chairs near the western and southern doors. You notice that one bookcase is missing one of its books. Okay, we'll examine that bookcase. The bookcase is filled with books on the occult and urban legends. Many are well worn, clearly read cover to cover many times. The otherwise full bookcase has one open space between a book on the Flatwoods Monster and a book on crop circles. Flatwoods Monster, oh, this is like Fallout 76. Yeah, I guess we'll move west. The hallway is dimly lit, the only light coming from the northern room at the end of the hall. The walls are bare except for a single defaced painting. There are open doors to the east and west, and you can see the foyer to the south. Okay, well, I guess we need to examine the painting. The painting appears to be of a distant relative of yours, though you've never heard of him before. There are massive cuts all over it, and the plaque underneath that most likely displayed his name has also been defaced. However, his date of birth and death are still visible. 92. Okay, so he was 72 when he died. Okay, I guess we can move west. The kitchen is a wreck. What used to be beautiful cabinets and kitchenware have been reduced to a smashed pile of wood and metal. Every surface is covered in layers of dripping crimson blood. The only thing left intact is a table, upon which lies a strange corpse. The eastern door to the hallway is covered in a series of deep claw marks. Southern door has been ripped off its hinges. Well, we gotta examine the blood. The blood looks fresh. Whatever happened here happened recently. Looking closer, you notice that mixed in with the normal red blood is streaks of dark purple sludge. The sight makes you queasy. Ugh. Okay, I guess examine the corpse. The corpse is humanoid, but it definitely isn't human. Its entire body is covered in layers of inky black fur, with massive insectoid wings sprouting from its back. Giant red compound eyes sprout from its head, alongside long feelers that reach to the ground. Instead of hands and feet, its limbs end in sharp, knife-like blades. Looking at the dead creature, you are filled with a strange mix of emotions. First comes fear and disgust, but soon comes intrigue, awe, and jealousy. You reach out a trembling hand to touch its weirdly beautiful fur. As you touch your hand to the creature, a sharp pain shoots through your arm. You stagger back, falling to the floor while screaming in pain. Okay, so it stuck us. It poked us. Ugh. You watch in horror as your right hand rips in half, making way for a scythe-like blade that grows from the open wound. As soon as it began, the pain ends, leaving you with one less hand but with an unexplainable feeling of bliss. You have gained the action slash. Wow, wasn't expecting that. Weird. Okay. You don't want to be in the kitchen anymore. There is a terrible aura of sorrow here. You glance east and south. Either room would be better than this. Okay, I guess we need to head east. The hallway is dimly lit. The only light... Okay, we've been here. Move north. The greenhouse is completely overrun with a variety of plants. Some are familiar, but many are completely alien to you, the color of which you don't even know how to describe. In the center of the room, several vines have wrapped around each other in a massive ball of plants and thorns. This reminds me of Resident Evil, the first one. You feel deeply uneasy, as if at any moment the plants will reach out to block the southern door to the hallway. Okay, I think I know what we need to do, but first let's examine the vines. The vines are covered in huge, red-tipped thorns that look like they could pierce through your arm. Through the vines, you can see something shiny nestled in the flower pot that they stem from. Okay, well obviously we need to slash the vines. You lash out at the vines with your new bladed limb, slicing through them like hot butter. You hear a horrible screeching sound as the severed vines crawl into the dark corners of the room. With the vines gone, you can see a golden key in the flower pot they used to inhabit. The greenhouse is... okay. Alright, well, let's take the key and... No, let's examine the key. first. Key is small and a dirty shade of gold. It looks ordinary enough, but you can sense a certain power to it. You wonder what it could be for. Okay, let's take the key and head south. Right? Move south. We haven't come across a locked door. I'm trying to think. Let's examine the staircase. Maybe it's upstairs. The stairs look like they are about to fall apart. Oh boy. Well, let's move or use the staircase. Yep. As you begin to walk up the stairs, they collapse underneath you. Luckily, you're not hurt, but the stairs are unusable now. What? What if I use the board, the stairs, on the staircase? Well, that's weird. Haven't we exhausted everything? Well, there's the hole in the floor. There's the cab. Oh, maybe the cabinet? Move west. Let's examine cabinet. Cabinet is fairly plain. It's a bit too dark. You try to open the cabinet, but the doors are locked. Haha! There's a small gold keyhole on one of the doors. Okay, so we'll use the key on cabinet. The key fits perfectly into the lock, unlocking the cabinet with a satisfying click. Opening the doors, you see that the object inside is a small red book. Okay, we'll examine the book. The book is titled Mothman, Myths and Legends. You flip through the book, skimming through the pages. It contains information about the Mothman, an urban legend of a humanoid moth that is said to be the harbinger of disaster, being sighted in places that will soon after experience a terrible tragedy. Well, it is called Moth Manor. Let's take the book and head to the library. We probably need to put it in that space on the bookshelf. Use book on bookcase. You slide the book into the open spot in the bookshelf. You hear the sound of gears turning and the bookcase swings open, revealing a spiral staircase. Ooh. Oh man, I love this. This is so neat. The stairs spiral down into the darkness. You can hear faint clicking and shuffling sounds coming from whatever lies at the bottom. Oh boy, I don't like that. Use staircase. You cautiously step down the stairs, keeping your hand against the wall as the light dwindles. Finally, you arrive at the bottom. You enter the basement, or at least what used to be the basement. Now it's more like a hive. The room's dim artificial lighting illuminates the dozens of human-sized cocoons that hang from the ceiling. Shadows dance on the wall as the cocoons wriggle and squirm. When you finally manage to tear your eyes away, you notice the imposing metal door and keypad that lie opposite the stairs back to the library. Okay, examine the door. The door looks extremely strong, like something you'd expect to see on a bank vault. You doubt you'll be able to open it by itself. You'll probably have to use the keypad to the side. Okay, examine keypad. The keypad contains the numbers 1 through 9. Underneath the keypad, someone has written something onto the wall. Death of the Firstborn. Enter the code you wish to try. Oh man, what was it? Oh, the painting. What year? Death of the Firstborn. We'll have to go back. 6-6. After entering a code, you hear a harsh buzzing sound. It doesn't seem to have worked. Okay, so let's... Dang it. Okay, well, use the stairs. Move west. Examine painting. 1892. Okay, so... And what was it again? 1892. You hear a quiet beep as the metal door beside you slowly swings open. Cool. You enter the basement. Oh, wait a second. Use door? You step through the door, your foot landing on bare rock instead of the concrete floor of the basement. The door seems to have been hiding a cave entrance. You take a deep breath and walk further in. As you head deeper into the cave, you find your path blocked by a sudden pit in the ground. You don't see an obvious way around it. You'll either need to find a way across or head north back to the basement. Okay, let's examine the pit. The pit is wide and jagged. You wonder if you could jump across, but you quickly decide it isn't worth the risk. Use the board, obviously. The board fits perfectly across the gap. You carefully walk across the makeshift bridge and continue deeper into the cave. Alright. Eventually, the tunnels open into a large open chamber. An awe-inspiring effigy lies in the center of the chamber, surrounded by decorative channels of running water that wind around the room. Okay, so this is the water that we heard earlier. Alright, well, first things first, let's examine the effigy. The effigy is of a great creature, reminiscent of the corpse in the kitchen, but even less human. As you stare at its divine beauty, you feel a sharp pain run through your spine. Knowing what is about to occur, you simply fall to your knees and embrace the change. The pain is immense, but you don't scream. You know that in the end it will all be worth it. The skin on your back rips apart as massive, elegant wings unfurl from your body. You won't realize it until later that your remaining human hand has also fallen away, making room for a second bladed appendage. When the pain finally stops, you crawl over to one of the streams of water in the floor. As you see your new reflection for the first time, you begin to weep with joy. You have gained the action Ascend. Oh, I guess we can fly out of here. There's no reason to stay down here in the dark. The light coming from the hole above calls to you. Examine the hole. You can barely make out details from here, but the shape of the hole in the ceiling looks strangely familiar. Okay, that's because it's the hole from before. With a single flap of your new wings, you soar towards the top of the chamber. It is effortless, as if you've had these wings for your entire life. Finally, you gently float through the hole in the ceiling and land on solid ground. Looking around, you realize you are back in the manor's living room. Okay, so now we can go to the second floor. We can ascend that staircase. We'll just fly up it. The living room has certainly seen better days, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we need to... Where is it? We need to go west? Okay, ascend staircase. You float up the staircase, at long last arriving at the manor's second floor. The second floor is completely falling apart. There are holes in the walls and entire sections of the ceiling have collapsed, filling the manor with moonlight. Only one room seems relatively intact, but the door is blocked by a pile of debris. Okay, examine the debris. Upon closer inspection, the debris seems to be the remains of a collapsed bit of ceiling. There's no way past it, but your blade should have no problem getting through. Okay, so we'll just slash at the debris. Slash debris. You lash out with both blades, missing your old hands less and less with each scything strike. Within seconds, the debris is reduced to a pile of splinters and dust. You step into the last unexplored room of the manor. Okay, I think we're getting near the end. While the interior walls of the bedroom are intact, the wall facing outside has completely collapsed. You have a full view of the moon. Standing on the bed is another moth person with black fur, huge red eyes, and fluttering purple and red wings. They point one of their bladed hands towards the moon. They don't speak, but you understand the message. Are we going to fly to the moon? Examine the moon, I guess? For the first time, you notice how wonderful and inviting the light from the moon is. Can we slash the moon? Oh, you point one of your blades at the moon. The figure nods as they let out an encouraging chirping sound. Huh. I was just joking around. Ascend moon, I guess, right? You take off into the night, flying towards the moon above. It is a truly liberating feeling, cut short by a sudden pain in your eyes. Knowing what is about to happen, you hover in place and embrace your final transformation. Transformation, that was a theme, by the way, of the Game Jam. Your vision divides as your eyes begin splitting into countless segments. It takes a moment for your brain to adjust to the new sensory input, but once it does, you see the world in an entirely new way. You realize that you are no longer limited to only seeing what is before you in the present. You can now also see what has not yet come to be. You have lost the action examine. You have gained the action foresee. Ooh. You return to the bedroom. The moth person from before has been joined by several others, one cradling and mourning the corpse from the kitchen. One by one, they gently place a bladed hand on your shoulder, welcoming you as one of their own before flying off into the night. Eventually, you are alone. You remove your clothing, displaying your new dark fur and discarding the last shred of your humanity. You watch your new kin fly off into the world beyond. Foresee world? Maybe? Flash of the world? Let's do foresee world. As you look into the world's future, you are horrified by what you see. You see countless disasters yet to come, tragedies that may yet be prevented. You felt powerless to make a difference in your old life, but maybe now you can prevent a darker future from coming to pass. You take off after the rest of your kind. There is much work to be done. Well, alright, that's the end. What'd you guys think? I thought this was awesome, man. I love retro games like this, and text adventures. I don't have a lot of them on my channel, but I do have a few. Anyway, this was really well done, very polished, save for some misspellings, but the developer did a great job of keeping with the theme of transformation, quite literally actually. And this might be the first proper cryptid related game on my channel too. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I was able to entertain you here with this. Thanks to all my subscribers, you guys are the best. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.